abductions and military abductions of humans, and the whole range of issues and concerns that arise out of these matters. I would also like to welcome Dr. Greer to come on the program after hearing my thoughts and concerns on these issues and address my points and my position. I would also like to extend to Dr. Greer my heartfelt respects and regards and express to Dr. Greer my love, warm wishes, and hope for all success in this magnificent journey of discovery and mystery that he has wonderfully embarked upon. Since I am not an experienced public speaker as Dr. Greer, with his years addressing powerful men and women such as presidents, Congress, CIA directors, and many crowds and gatherings, I am at a distinct disadvantage in this regard. As such, I have deemed it more efficacious that I prepare my thoughts and comments in a written presentation, which allows me to organize my thoughts in a more coherent and organized manner. In the early days of forming his CSETI project and organization, Dr. Greer became faced with a dilemma, a conundrum, and an inner conflict regarding the moral, ethical, and spiritual values and virtues of establishing his CSETI organization and pursuing its principles. His dilemma was the pressing question of the moral, ethical, and spiritual value of creating and promoting his CSETI project. He knew that many would accuse him of endangering humanity with his efforts to contact and communicate with aliens and ETs and invite and welcome their presence on this planet. After all, he was living in a society that was largely comprised of a population whose religious orientation was based on Abrahamic traditions and beliefs, and who would look upon his efforts as satanic or demonic in nature. In order to justify and dignify and validate the ethical, moral, and spiritual value of his CSETI organization, he came face to face with a crucial challenge. How could he possibly dignify and justify such a project and such a mission if indeed these beings from other worlds were coming to planet Earth for the purpose of abducting humans, robbing them of genetic material, and in some cases even stealing human embryos out of the womb, and in the process traumatizing them both psychologically and physically in some cases? How could Dr. Greer possibly pursue and invite alien communication, contact, and presences on the planet if indeed these beings were causing harm to humanity? With some thought, he quickly came to the conclusion that the only way he could justify his intentions and actions and dignify his purposes was by refusing to accept that, in fact, these beings from another world or another dimension were intruding upon this planet, exploiting the population, and committing crimes against humanity. At this point, Dr. Greer realized that he had to begin a campaign of denying these atrocities because he felt impelled to continue with his ET research and continue his efforts to contact, welcome, and communicate with these beings from another world and extend the hand of peace to them. It was a fascination and an obsession that he could not deny himself. It was a task and a calling that he could not forego. He was determined to find a way to do it, and do it with honor and dignity, even at the cost of truth and fairness. It was then that Dr. Greer decided that denial was the only option that he had available if indeed he was to pursue his calling and this mission. He began a campaign of denial and deception because there was no other way he could justify his own actions in the face of such daunting and discouraging opposition as he would be facing. As such, Dr. Greer began his denial campaign to systematically defend and protect his beloved aliens and ETs from public anger, hate, and ridicule by asserting that such alien crimes were not being committed against humanity at all, and that indeed these atrocities were the acts of our very own secret Black Ops division of the military and the shadow government. And that is the official position of Dr. Greer to this day, and the very foundational premise of his CSETI organization and Serious Disclosure Project: denial. Dr. Greer denies alien and extraterrestrial participation in these abductions and places all the blame on the secretive elements of the military, even though the military, with its handful of alien reproduction vehicles and biological programmable androids, can only account for a very small percentage of these abductions and intrusions upon the human population of Earth. Indeed, Abduction reports where military personnel are seen as working in collusion with aliens are a very small fraction of the total number. As such, his Serious Disclosure Project became the Serious Disclosure and Denial Project, and CSETI became the official apologist of all the aliens and extraterrestrials that were intruding and imposing upon humanity and robbing them of their normalcy, their privacy, their genetic energy, and even human embryos. Dr. Greer is now all in with his CSETI organization, having left his profession as a physician. Under the present circumstances and situation, his career and livelihood now depend upon this denial and this cover-up of these alien abductions, unless and until he reviews and revises his understanding and approach to these abductions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we will never get the truth from Dr. Greer, or any confession or admission that indeed his beloved aliens and extraterrestrials are in fact engaging in these horrific crimes against humanity. Dr. Greer is living in denial. Whether he has himself deceived or not is something that only Dr. Greer can know. Whether or not he actually believes his own story is not something we can really know unless and until Dr. Greer comes forward with an honest explanation or confession of the truth. It's hard to imagine that an intelligent man like Dr. Greer within himself really believes that all these abductions are being performed by the secret divisions of the military in the face of so many thousands of reports and personal accounts of alien abductions that are well documented and reported all over the world. Does Dr. Greer actually understand the true import and implications of his allegations that the U.S. secret military operations are responsible for all alien abductions that are reported all over the world? Does Dr. Greer understand that his allegations make the United States military guilty of global crimes against humanity, and thereby giving nations all over the world justification and provocation for declaring war against the United States? Does Dr. Greer understand that his accusations and allegations could easily be misconstrued as anarchist propaganda that could turn the population against the government in a violent overthrow in the face of such crimes against humanity? Only Dr. Greer knows his own heart and mind. Perhaps if Dr. Greer could understand that, in fact, these alien abductions of humans and the extraction of genetic materials and embryos were part of a greater universal good and greater plan for preservation of the fruits of millions of years of human evolution, then he could admit to himself and to the world that these human abductions were in fact being carried out by an advanced race of beings working on behalf of the universal good and the universal God, and not some demonic intrusion and exploitation of humanity. Because Dr. Greer is a monistic thinker and not a man of theistic conception, he cannot understand that there is a God in control of this universe, with a great family of sons and daughters and a great plan for universal good. Because Dr. Greer is not acquainted with the celestial orders, the angelic orders, the Melchizedek orders, and the planetary rulers and governors of this universe, he is obliged to think of alien abductions of humans as bad, unthinkable invasion crime upon humanity that he cannot accept, rather than a part of a greater plan of universal good and universal evolution. Dr. Greer can preserve and protect the dignity and honor of his CSETI organization and Serious Disclosure Project only by admitting the truth and understanding the higher purpose of this alien presence and their work on this planet. Our planet is in peril. We are threatened with human extinction and global destruction. The rulers of this universe have a law that human evolution on the worlds of time and space must be preserved. Millions of years of human genetic evolution cannot be lost when a planet like Earth is in peril and faced with human extinction and planetary destruction, even if in the process of preserving and protecting this human evolution that was the result of millions of years of celestial nurture and watch care, is an inconvenience and an imposition upon mankind. The rulers of this universe have ordered the genetic preservation of millions of years of human evolution to be carried out by certain orders of beings uniquely qualified for this job. There is a new earth, a new world, where this human evolution is being transplanted, even as we speak. The process of preserving and protecting millions of years of human genetic evolution and development is being conducted on planet Earth at this time, and it has been going on in earnest since the atomic age of mankind began, as indeed the atomic age of mankind most always heralds the beginning of the end of humanity on the Earth-type planets all over this universe. I request Dr. Greer to rethink his approach, not to abandon his projects and his self-appointed mission as the human ambassador of goodwill and peace to the various orders of extraterrestrial beings that are now watching and working on this planet. It is all part of the divine plan. It is not an invasion of Earth by malevolent beings or the exploitation of mankind. Rather, the acts of preserving and protecting millions of years of human genetic hybridization and evolution, even though this process is uncomfortable and even horrifying to those who are chosen candidates for genetic preservation. Indeed, these victims should feel solace that, in fact, their genetics have been targeted for preservation and hybridization of other species. This is an act of the Almighty and His sons and daughters as they work to preserve the fruits of millions of years of human genetic evolution on a planet threatened with human extinction and global destruction. I would like to explain to Dr. Greer and to the Western world that even the reptilian beings that are sometimes experienced and observed on this planet are mentioned in the Vedic texts, and that indeed even the Supreme God of universes has a reptilian manifestation named as Sheshanaga in the subterranean realms of the universe where the light of the sun does not reach. To the reptilians, God appears in the form of a giant serpent with jewels on his head that illuminate another dimension of universe reality. Such is the truth revealed in the Vedic writings of India. With this, I conclude my presentation and yield to the respected and honorable Dr. Stephen Greer, himself a child of the Father of Universes and a man of great potential and good heart. He means well and has good intentions, though his knowledge base is lacking and his insight and understanding of universe realities is in fact in its infant stage. We need love and understanding, not hate and misconception. In this regard, we have much to learn from the Vedic texts and the great teachers and masters who work to bring light and life to the evolving races of the worlds of time and space. That God can appear in the form of a reptile to species of reptilian humanoids is indeed a radical and revolutionary concept, but indeed that is what we learn from the Vedic scriptures of India. To the reptilian beings of the universe, God is in the form of a reptile. Regrettably, there are bad reptilians among the species who do mischief on this planet and who do not have the best interest of humanity in mind, and who also use their own gray biological androids for carrying out misdeeds upon humanity, as does the secret military for executing their nefarious deeds upon the population. In this regard, we need celestial and divine intervention and protection, as these beings are beyond the power of mankind to defend against. We need prayers for protection. Our militaries are defenseless against these rogue reptilians who represent the rebels and renegades of their species. We need the protection of the Almighty God, Lord Sri Vishnu, and his divine sons and daughters. Thank you for listening. May peace be with you. Back to you, Blake.
Wow. Everybody got that live third phase of moon. We share it to the world. When people call in, we're not biased one way or the other. We like people's opinions. And when it's in regards to alien abduction, well, that's what everybody tunes into third phase of moon. They're tuned into the idea that, hey, there are aliens visiting Earth, and if someone's out there saying that it's all military involved, then the speculation is that all governments are evil and they're doing some kind of, conspiracy against mankind, which is not what I think is going on. I think it's highly advanced. People are saying that, has the military been involved with alien abduction? for centuries. It's been going back for a long time. People have said that aliens have been visiting Earth. Look at the Egyptians and what they say, and the Mayans and the ancient artwork that's out there. Was the military behind that? Did they have time-traveling machines that they would go in and put these artwork displays to showcase that, hey, it's all military in design? Not exactly sure, but I do appreciate people's opinions, and that's what we're here to share to the world. I also wanted to say that when I did have Dr. Greer on the show, numerous of times, I know that his story's changed a bit, especially in regards to the point of alien abduction that's all military involvement. People don't get abducted by aliens, according to Dr. Greer, but we're also promoting our film that's going to be coming out very soon, Hangar 52, We Are Not Alone, and we took the knowledge from people from around the world and their close encounters with the reptilians and the alien greys and took that knowledge and put it into making this feature film, Hangar 52. And Roger, Dr. Greer was immediately saying that we're fear-mongering, making a movie about fear-mongering reptilians taking over the planet Earth, thinking that it's not possible. Well, in this case, what you just heard right here at Third Phase Moon and the caller that just called in, it is very possible. Everybody, hey, we're not alone in this universe, and we're standing by Third Phase of Moon. We're waiting for your videos. You have your cameras ready because things are going down. Things are going down around the world, and Third Phase of Moon is standing by. My name is Blake Cousins. We'll see everybody again next week, Friday, Third Phase of Moon Radio. Appreciate it. See everybody again next time.